bind the most. Working down the back of the hood, you'll notice your guidelines come together more evenly. You still have to pull occasionally to align your guidelines. And then just work down the back until we are at the base. Now that we've worked down to the last few stitches, we will prepare to tie this off. Going through the last stitch, the last couple stitches, you want to make sure that it's nice and even and straight. You'll notice the little excess of the tail that is left over. You don't want to trim this until we get finished with the rest of the hood. Now, going through the last pair of holes, as a safety measure, you can go through these twice or even a third time to give it a nice tight finished seam. Then check your work before you finish tying your knot off. Now you want to take your needle and go back up to the next to the last cross stitch and go underneath it. Pull your needle and thread through. Then take your needle and go underneath that second main stitch. And this will give you a little loop that encircles all of these stitches. And then take your needle, go through that loop and back through that next to the last pair of holes. And then stop halfway through and pull your main thread tight. Then you can pull your needle through, and that gives you a nice knot that'll pull inside the material. And you can repeat this a second time. This just secures everything, and you know that it's not ever going to come apart. It's always best to have a little bit too much thread than not enough. You don't want to have to do this somewhere in the middle of your hood. Pull it tight. Then you can cut it off, and you have sewn on your first eye panel, and then repeat this to sew on your other eye panel. This is how it should look. Nice job. Now that we've sewn both eye panels on, you'll see in the back where I've trimmed it how it comes to a point. This is how your hood should look. You want to follow the contour of your eye panels when trimming this. Next, we'll want to glue the strap that we cut and dyed earlier for your neck piece or your piping material. Using Tandy's contact cement, use the narrow width of your brush. I cut small sections of poster board to do my gluing and some of my dyeing on. You want a nice even coat of glue on. This is one of the exciting parts of making a hood. This is showing you how to measure how much material you will need to go around the neck piece. And this will also give you a little extra after it is sewn on, but this gives you a good measurement. Next, we will want to cut 2 strips of skiver leather. This is a very thin leather. Cut them approximately 6 millimeters wide. This is the material that we will glue to the inside of the hood that will cover the stitching. This prevents any light leakage after years of use. Put a nice even coat of glue, contact cement, on your skiver material. Just a good even coat will suffice. And you don't want to glue your material to the poster board that we're gluing it on, because when it sits it will glue to it and set up on the poster board. So you just want to pick these up and set them in another spot so they don't glue to it. Then set these aside to dry. Next, you'll want to glue using the narrow edge of your brush, using the width of your stitching as guidelines. You want to apply a nice even coat to the stitched area of your hood. This isn't a must, this is just a precaution so you don't develop any light leakage in your hood.